Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and this edition for Thursday, the 16th of February, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at currencies, then stock markets, and commodities, and last of all, some tech stocks. And this morning, I'm using the DTN feed. I often use the Bloomberg feed. Sometimes you'll see me using Reuters. Of course, the beauty of Updata is it runs on multiple services. So here I'm running on Bloomberg. Here I'm running on my DTN feed. There's a whole host of feeds that you can run on with Updata. So that's the power of the system. And remember, if you want to get this same template and follow me in your Updata system, all you have to do is go to our library, and in IQ feed you can select, and you'll find the Charts Today layout in the feed. So just follow me by downloading that same layout, and you'll be able to just do exactly the same exercise. And of course, you can construct any list and use this template for viewing any stock. And I think it's a brilliant template because we have our long term, our weekly, and our 1%, our medium term, our daily, and our 0.5% point and figure, and our short term, 60-minute and our 0.1%, and the targets and the trends all very clear. So we look at the dollar index. We had quite a big pullback since yesterday, and we've really pulled back. We're back below the cloud on the price, not quite yet on the lagging line. So this is an interesting pullback in the dollar. If we look at the daily chart here, we see we're just testing the cloud from above, and of course we're still bullish on the weekly chart. But quite a big reversal yesterday, down a further 0.4% this morning. So that is just interesting. And the euro, conversely, is recovering this morning, having unwound some of these targets. That's the key thing. These targets were unwound. We do have a new downside target, 104, and so that's quite key. But at the moment, we're seeing a bit of a recovery, and we're just coming back above the clouds, so that's quite interesting as well. On the dollar yen, we're seeing again the dollar just falling back, so really pulling back quite dramatically there. And if we look at the sterling chart, not back above the cloud on the sterling chart, but interestingly, we did have quite a big fall over the last couple of days, and we're now reversing that. Still not quite above the cloud on the daily chart, so we're just seeing there that is still not quite recovering there. If we look at euro sterling, here we see that we've got this climbing. So the euro is just increasing against sterling this morning. So we're just seeing that strength coming back. Looking at Swiss franc, sterling, we're just seeing again, we're just pulling back a little bit as well. And last of all, the Aussie dollar, 162. It was below 162 yesterday. Australian dollar strength really the key here. 156, 159 are the target. So we're seeing the Aussie dollar showing real strength coming through there. Looking at stock markets, US markets still looking amazing. S&P 500 here, we just see we are making new highs, just going up and up and up. So 23.49, really strong day there for the broad-based S&P 500 index. The Nasdaq index also having another strong day. This chart's just really running and breaking now. And if we look at the futures this morning, we do see this slight open that it might pull back, but again, we're seeing no real signs of any reversal at today's opening in the US. FTSE's down this morning, down 0.4%, but in trend. And just needs to break that January high, not quite doing that, so not looking quite as bullish as the US market. And the FTSE 250, much the same, just down this morning, but is breaking higher, so really has broken out in the long term. No really big upside targets to talk of on the long term chart, but we do have 4 and 10% upside on the medium term chart. So for the mid-cap UK stocks still looking pretty strong. DAX is above the cloud, pulling back a bit this morning again, but still looking pretty strong. If we look at some of the Asian indexes, Hang Seng again just coming above. Looking at Brent crude, really not breaking out. It's really not doing its first quarter run that we would expect it to do, but when we do break, it should run quite quickly. But we really are in this sideways range. Crude oil market's just really range bound at the moment, and the same is true on WTI. We're seeing that same range, just frustrating quite a lot of traders. Nat gas was down slightly yesterday, just can't get back above the cloud, so US nat gas still frustrating traders there. If we look at wheat, Interestingly, wheat really rocketing on the medium-term chart. We're in a sideways range here, not quite activating the sideways target, and we're still not through on the long-term chart. Taking a look at sugar, we see here we're below the cloud. Again, the DTN feed, of course, very, very strong on commodities. If we look at FXCM, we see here the gold chart coming from them, and we see here, again, this is on your DTN feed, XAU being the gold symbol, up strongly this morning, just breaking on that weaker dollar. Not quite through on the medium-term cloud yet, but it's really looking quite good. This upside target of 1396 still in place. And silver very much above the cloud, quite a good lead indicator, back through on the daily, and so we're starting to see bullish, bullish, bullish for silver. Precious metals starting to look good again. Apple just powering ahead. The 10-year yield we're seeing here just holding at that 250 level, just really hanging around there. Google, we're above the cloud here. All the tech really is starting to look good. Amazon above the cloud. Nvidia, the stock that I've talked about more recently when I own, should I sell it? And basically it's still just hanging on to its medium and long-term positions. Facebook, still got lots of upside targets on Facebook, looking quite good. Just in this range, struggling to get above the 135 level. And last of all, Microsoft, back above the cloud, starting to move again, and some quite good medium-term upside targets. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.